love the chase and the hunt, and I set the pace when I'm running. I always take what I want and I always give it 100. Don't need a bank, no I'm funded. Play the game like it's nothing. I'm always thankful for something. Don't take for granted, stay humble. Now wake up! It's time to look at the enemy. Look in the mirror if he is no friend to me. It's not working out, maybe it's the chemistry. It's time to break up so I can make a better me. Better believe in your mind, cause it's everything. You can mold, shape, find almost anything. All it takes is some time and some clarity to find your identity. It's mind over everything. I'm immortal. When I feel like this, I'm immortal. When I feel like this, I'm immortal. When I feel like this, I'm immortal. Don't stop. Just don't stop. Crack. And if you get in my way, you gonna feel the wrath. Gotta say it to my face while he's looking back. Mirror breaks after math. When I hate, I attack. When I feel like this, I'm immortal. 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 Don't stop. Just don't stop.
Alrighty, let's get this show on the road. Sorry, it took me a little while. Didn't realize I started speaking right now without the mic being on. Hope everybody's well. Hi, John. Hi, Casey. Howdy, sir. Johnny Wami? Yo, hello. Welcome. I don't think I've seen you here before, but of course, absolutely welcome. Hope you enjoy the content. Stongs, Bedwars Gang, of course, Leo, the Legends, thank you all boys and girls, Sky, hi, hello, good to see you here as well. Alright, let's get into this because we don't have a lot of time. Let's cover today's price action, which was basically volatile and all over the place, but resulted in not much of a result. Slightly higher than when we closed, so to speak. If you look at a day before, we closed roughly around 5,580. Opened up with the gap, spent a decent chunk amount of time on closing it, and now we're slowly moving ahead. We had another gap, closure of the gap, so wasting a bunch of time. If you really zoom out, you really realize we were moving underneath a singular level, which is 5650, finding it as resistance. We know about this level from before. We tested this level to death, as you can see in our past, and so we were quite well aware of it. And let's try to figure out momentum and what it shows within the context of the framework of where we're at and all that beautiful stuff. So we kind of squeezed out most of the bullish momentum. We're starting to run low on momentum. It's not going to be all that surprising if shortly we're going to start breaking. What does that mean shortly? Since we're running closer towards the end of the session, that probably will be a little bit of a spillover. So basically, we're kind of going to stay flat on the current median channel that you can see on screen right now. we're roughly where we are and we're not going to move much. That appears to be from the standpoint of 5 minutes. On the 30 minutes, that really does slip a little bit more into tomorrow and overnight price action, pre-market as well. Which, of course, we always need to remember and expect the market to open up with a gap, especially towards tomorrow, the 2nd of April. Everybody's prepared for Trump's tariffs or announcements or cancellation of them all. We do something very simple here. We don't listen to the noise. We merely watch the technical. So we look at the charts, right? We look at the technical analysis and what it presents, and we move out of that, right? We extrapolate out of that. We expect the bigger players, the market movers, to be prepared in advance, not suddenly start, doing all sorts of things. And if there is a position that they would like to take, they are well in advance prepared for, and the market will show signs. And it's not about what they're saying, it's what they're doing. And what they're doing will print in the market, regardless of whether they wanting it or not. So that's kind of the idea. The premise here is that we don't rely on narrative, sentiment. I feel like this, you feel like that. You feel like anything, take it to the bathroom, it might pass. We are not going off of that. We're going off of what the numbers, the raw numbers, are showing as of this moment in preparation for tomorrow. So the 30 minutes is objectively below the 50 range, so more bearish than bullish. It had just had convergence, so we really are seeing some bullish momentum. But remember, anything below the 50 is far more bearish in its original nature in the first place. So it's not that abnormal after seeing such a downwards rally, right? That's such a pressure downwards. We're going to be seeing a little bit of a corrective movement to the upside. So again, that comes through as part of that overall corrective movement, right? You can see it's kind of a little part of it, a little knob. Remember, what we're seeing is a smaller scale cycle that appears to be a lot clearer on larger time frames. That's why we expand all the time and we go further out to see what the larger time frames say. At this instance, we are right at 80, having convergence, divergence, looks a little bit more bullish, so it's not going to be that surprising to retest 56.50 as we said, given how low we are relative to it right now. We're about $50 away, so it's not going to be all that surprising if we make it all the way through the median that is currently passing right here. As you can see, that yellow line through it to retest 56.50 with some slippage, some retests. That definitely confirms part of that convergence divergence process. Could definitely be, maybe not even enough to make it to the median. In all reality, the process that we're going to have temporarily here, it is just a corrective movement, similarly to what we saw on the smaller time frame. It's just that here we can see the true nature of it. The true nature is that that corrective movement is just a tiny fraction of the overall movement, and what we were able to see on the smaller time frames is the same thing as just zooming in on this one particular area. So again, at face value, although convergence, although looks like it's going to be bullish, first of all, let's not run the gun. We don't know. It might flip over into tomorrow's session. The market will be negative, but more so to identify what is far more likely to be, we go to the 1 hourly. Simple. The larger... Oh, I was worried you guys cannot hear me. Oh my God. Let me see. Oh yeah, the sound is going through. For a second there, I thought you might be not hearing me. All right. So, what do we have here? Here we have, again, something very similar to what we had on the 45 minutes, just on a larger scale. Again, we are running hot. Basically, we were able, at this stage, you kind of have to observe at what you had and what is happening here. We ran through the most average amount of time that we normally spend in overbought conditions. We've ran through the corrective movement, which we can see relative to the actual motive movement we had originally. And we are getting ready to flip over, start correcting downwards. Again, that's the short term. And if we objectively look at this, we might have already started. So part of that corrective movement is just nothing but us moving into probably some form of wedge of sorts, retesting, just to break down further lower towards 54.47.13. That appears to be the next handle. The 54.40 handle will be the next area which we will be testing, at least according to the 1 hourly. Let's see what we have on the 4 hours. Could be a lot worse. actually. If we are looking at the 4 hours, it's actually fairly interesting. It is almost doing so, and I would like to emphasize this is so important. People would look at this and say, oh, that's it, the correction is done, we're moving upwards. It's an up and down motion. No, I will literally highlight this very little bit. When we do go into oversold conditions, it's not unheard of that as a first process we have convergence, divergence, retest multiple times, in fact even break back out just to break back in. And if you follow up the price action during that period of time, it still resulted in downwards pressure. Okay, as long as we are below the 50 and having great bearish pressure from other time frames, wink wink, the larger ones matter a little bit more, although the shorter range we saw are a little bit more bullish, so it's not unheard of to seek that 5650 area again, since we're so close, and that is a major support and resistance. We've tested it before and said and shown how strong it is. Plus, it's psychological level. It's a very weak psychological level, to be frank, because no one really cares about 5650. But yeah, but it's there. It's acknowledged. The real problem that we're having, and some people are sort of saying, oh, look, you know, the daily is moving towards convergence here, and so that's going to slow down the entire process. And absolutely, I agree. It might not necessarily pan out to be as smooth as some people expect, but I did say we will end up going back to 5400 handle and testing it back and forth. This could be confirmation of that. But remember, all the damage we can do within the framework of several days, let's say, you know, 3, 4, 5, even entire week worth of days, right, can be then mitigated. And ironically, I'll say that if we do actually get that bullish momentum, because we're not sure yet, the fact that it goes through a retest here, it might just end up being more flat and allowing it to actually sort of test back and forth from 5650 back to that trend line up and down, right? That is that bullish momentum that we spent on that. But worst case scenario, if things really play out amazingly for the market, we are talking about roughly around 57 handle, and maybe a little bit higher on a really, really good day. If I really insist, 58. And since we still have that 58.40, you know what? I'm going to be so nice and say that if we make it to here, we can make that. Now, what's the likelihood of us actually making it to the median using the the potential convergence that haven't happened yet in the first place? Realistically speaking, it's none to none. I mean, it is very unlikely to happen as long as, guess what? You're still tremendously oversold. I would have agreed with you if that would have made some sense, if at least right now we would have been somewhere around here and forecasting more bullish momentum in the system forward as we go, and so subsequently the market would have been able to adjust and get a higher support or resistance level. In reality, if you just zoom out a little bit, you realize that we're literally retesting a very similar range we were testing around July 2024, around August 2024. We are literally formulating the second shoulder here on the smaller scale before we break down. So it's not unheard of if some of that bullish momentum that we've seen here before will be spent on retest. I know I'm stretching it out, it's just for you to see. I'm not saying it's going to be identical nor even similar. In fact, it can continue dropping and only then correct back to 54 handle and generate the shoulder almost on this entire layer that is below the layer at which the previous shoulder or the left shoulder was. They don't have to be symmetrical. I'm just currently following what we see. Currently, it appears to be that we are moving within the framework of 5650 and 5447, give or take. That is the ranges that we're within. And since we're still bearish in full force, and then of course bearish in full force, and yesterday, those who don't follow, of course, it's absolutely fresh, and we do not jump, from happiness right away. But this is really, really indicative of a continuation of a bearish trend. Now we're below, and behold, now both the K and the D, both forces are basically below the 50 in bearish territory, which signals that we have a major continuation of the downtrend. And from here on out, I wouldn't be gambling on these higher points. They will all be mitigated by the grand force, by the tsunami-like size and strength of what you see on the monthly. In fact, it's kind of ironic. Maybe I should have done one of these clickbaity things. Oh, Stonks Tycoon with $2. You goddamn legend. Why are you giving money in this shitty platform? I love you a lot. You're a goddamn legend. You're a goddamn legend. Yeah. But within the context, within the framework of what we're saying, this appears to be that we're far more likely to continue a breakdown that will last. If we're looking at this, just imagine this. If this is the current candlestick of this month, and it is already panning out to show negativity, although it's green, notice it's positive, it already is higher than it opened, right? But still, it's not enough to overtake and overturn the negative pressure within the system that was built up. And so what we're seeing is just a temporary relief rally. The same way when we are going up, we have a temporary correction down. That is a normal process. Don't forget, when we go up, we still have a downwards pressure and an impulse and wave. Here, we are fully downwards. And I mean, if I talk about the quarterly, do I really want to say and highlight anything which we just saw yesterday, which was a lot less red? And as we're making our way forward and within the following quarter, it's going to get even more red, more painful. Because what we're seeing on the monthly, we know that the following month will be painful. It's like, how do we know the quarterly will be painful? Well, here it is. Because if you just look 2 months out from here, including the current month, guess what? You are looking at a quarter. Ta-da! Together, that's what makes the quarter. These three candlesticks on the monthly make a quarter. Weird. Now, what we are going to do here is we're going to understand that if we see this already becoming negative, below the 80 range, and slowly becoming more bearish, and we deduct that there's a 1 quarter, current quarter, 1 quarter, 2 quarters, potentially continuing at least temporarily continuing. So we are talking here about the better part of the year. We're talking about 3 quarters here, okay? 3 quarters of the year. Can you imagine the damage that could be done within the framework of 3 quarters of a year? I now can boldly tell you that when we look at this chart, we can start talking about these levels, right? We can start talking about the 4,800 levels, which no one wants to talk about. But you tell me, do you not envision how we can, within 3 quarters of negativity? In fact, I'm being so generous. Within 3 quarters, we can drop back to 48, test it to death, back to 5,000, and then drop back to, so basically drop, test, and drop again, just to continue. And roughly here, we're going to end up, again, I'm stretching it out to death. I know it's a lot quicker. It's more like this, if anything. And so you can imagine that within 3 quarters, we cannot make it to 4,400-ish. I'm slightly lower than I should be, to this area where coincidentally it matches with the median right there, right? You kind of get the idea. Like slightly exaggerated there, but you get the idea. Kind of like that, right? So with this, within the framework, of course, within the framework of what we're seeing starting to occur over here. And it's just starting. It's just starting. Remember, last time when we had it, it was very tame in comparison to what this structure will be this time around. Okay? Very, very tame, I tell you. Very tame. You know what time we're talking about. You know, right? That unpleasant high that we had. Stonky, you goddamn legend. You goddamn beautiful motherfucker. Yeah. I shouldn't be talking like that. You sexy YouTube mother lover. That's what we're gonna call you. Need to be able to eat. Bro, without... absolutely. You're right. You're right. Boy gotta eat, right? Although I don't remember when I was a boy. Many years ago. I remember when I was a boy. Leah here. Hello. Hi, Greg. Long ago. Finally here again. Good to see you. Good to see you're back. 15 watching, 9 likes. Absolutely, Stonks is right. Give me all the likes. I want all the likes. Give me all of them. All the likes. How many? All. You need to be able to eat. Absolutely. Yeah, that's it. We have nothing new to say with that. Maybe something I do want to tackle since I haven't spoke about this in a while and I kind of forgot. Remember how I was saying that Nvidia will be dropping back to 100, 110 and all that beautiful stuff? Well, here it is. Time to, face reality. I'm gonna clean up a little bit because it appears to be like a gigantic junkyard and nothing is visible. So I'm gonna clean up a little bit. But you can see I was generally right. I mean, look at this. I think I actually deleted what I was trying to show off that I was right. Look, look. You see, when I draw these things, I make them stretched out, right? You see these three? You see where these are? Does that match coincidentally? Ta-da! You see, although we ended up doing that here so much faster and not on the median because I'm a moron. But it's all about the level. It's all about the price and not always just whatever support or resistance is going to be the one to catch on to it. Although in this instance, the very same one, the parallel line just lower. Meaning we were not even able to do it as well. Like basically, I think I've actually said this. I think if we go back, I might have said that I'm actually being super generous with this, blah, 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 blah. And there you go. Yes, I was. Yes, I damn was generous with this. That's enough. Whatever I have in other places, probably important. Cool. Now, okay, so what are we doing now? Stonko. I don't know how much energy I have for Stonkos today. I've done so much today and I am literally starving. I was running from session to session to session and a bunch of other stuff and calls and this and that. I didn't have a proper break since the early afternoon. Not afternoon, but early noonish. Yes. So I'm just, I do need a little bit of a break. I'm like, normally that's not a problem. I'm recovering. I'm not still at 100% as you guys hear. Sometimes I still have some coughs and this and that. Energy level is not at 100%. Yeah, no. But all sorts of stuff. But let's go over this just since we're already here on NVIDIA. What is NVIDIA saying, independently of the market, right? What does NVIDIA say about its own self? NVIDIA is saying it's eating garbage, if you will. It's not doing good. I told you it won't be doing good, right? Told you so. But the fun thing is it's not over yet. And remember, when it will go for convergence here, it's probably a temporary relief rally because it needs to, because it finally made it down to the bottom. And so that's normal. What you should be looking for is something akin to this, like 336 days of pain. Pain. Yes, many pain. Many. 336 days to be exact. Or like in this instance, because we're already at the bottom, so I'm just counting 519 days of pain. Or something akin to 540. No, shit, exaggerated. Let's just call this 487 days of pain. Or roughly around 425 days of pain. So, in other words, lots of pain. You see? So this is just an average. I'm not telling you this is going to be exactly the same length as the other ones. I'm just telling you that it's going to be painful and it's not going to be short. What the hell did Stonky write and delete all there? Oh my god. What did I miss? Oh, right. No Stonk request today, absolutely. Yeah, that's what you were. Yeah. God damn it, what would I do without you guys? Aqua, Stonks, Bad Wars, Leo, you guys are all phenomenal. Also, dear viewers, thank you all for showing up. I mean, it's for your own good at the end of the day, so you'll know what smart money does, what the market outlook is. So it's for you. But Sirius Sky, of course, right? How could I forget? Wami. Maybe you're somebody who I know. I'm just a moron. But yeah. Boys and girls, all of you, I really appreciate you, being part of the community, choosing to, plug in, so to speak, and watch me ramble about the market. It's not a given, and I understand there are plenty of other, YouTube channels, and I'm good, bad, doesn't matter. You appreciate what I do, doesn't matter, none of this. I really do respect that you choose to be here. That is that. Now. I mean, there's nothing all that surprising, so we're not going to be all that surprised to see the market retest what was floor here, right? will be sealing now. So we're talking about the 118 range. Of course, we have the 115 resistance, we have the 112.95, 110 as we're already seeing it, but I think the overall range would be roughly around to 118, maybe 120 test, since it's a psychological level. So my presumption for the near-term future, even if upwards trend, is going to be something akin to this, and when the rest of the market is ready to go even lower, which is probably sooner than later, and shit, why am I again stretching it out to death? I'm making it seem like it's going to take years. It's going to take months at best. Even that is an exaggeration. I mean, look at this, right? But you get the idea. You get the shtick, and it appears to be that even if we're going to be retesting back slightly higher, back from 110 to 120, maybe a little bit higher, maybe to 124.98 right there, or let's call it 125, it still will result in an overall downwards trend. The market is far more prepared to go downwards and not upwards. So, get with the program, if you will. You do you. This is not financial advice, just like it says in the beginning. You see, this is the half years going towards convergence. Basically, pain all over the place. Lots of pain. And those who didn't notice, by the way, this is a gigantic wave that is going down. Just saying. But you need to be able to zoom out and look at the 6 months in the right way to recognize it. Otherwise, you're going to be saying, no, we're moving up. You're going to be applying your bias to the market, which is a very bad idea. Don't do that. It will result in very bad stuff. All right. That's it. That is it for today. A quick update. I will make an effort to do a proper live tomorrow with, we're going to go over your stocks that you guys want. Tomorrow may be very, very interesting. Tomorrow we also have a members meeting with the Academy, don't forget. We also had a blast of a meeting yesterday with the Patreon members. I got a lot of really good feedback for that meeting. Everybody said so far they enjoyed it. I hope they're not lying and being honest, and the meeting was good, and we're going to have many more to come, of course. But since I am myself, I'm running on fumes and definitely need to go and, fill in the tank, so to speak. I really am tired, really, really hungry, and I don't want to give you a half-ass analysis because I was not focused, right? So I don't want to go dive deeper on things I'm not 1000% certain of the same way I just described. 4 p.m. Rose Garden event, absolutely, yes. Boys and girls, be attentive. You have all the details in the Discord. Those who are new or unaware, definitely join the Patreon. That will grant you access to the Discord. There's no point in showing up on the Discord if you're not a Patreon member or an Academy member. You simply will not be able to get in. You must be a paying member on Patreon. Lowest tier, highest tier, up to you. Don't care. It is a private server, and so no scammers, no bots, no nothing. None of that crap on my server. Now, with that in mind, boys and girls, I wish you a wonderful night. Let's take a quick look-see at the market as we're closing it. The final minutes. Oh, Jesus, I need to clean up that mess. Jesus. Oh my God, I removed too much. I know I removed the line. I don't want to remove a line. But let's try and clean this up real quick. Oh my God, I'm not even showing the main chart. I'm being schmucksky. 56.30, if you wonder. We are at 56.30. And the market is getting ready to lock in. And we are locking in at, all in all, if you consider this, we actually ended up squeezing quite a bit of the bullish momentum and taking a lot of that precious bullish momentum from, the bull's hands. And so the more of it is spent, the better for us. By the way, those who are not informed, I now have my wished upon position on Plug. I now have 2,000 shares of Plug. So I'm locked in and ready and no touchy anymore. Just sit and wait. Now I'm just going to be buying all sorts of fun stuff like more SQQs and more SQQs and more SQQs and more SQQs, if I didn't say SQQs yet. Why? Because those who've been following the community know that so far this position has been working out quite well for me. And the other participants in the community who decided and chose to follow suit. And I definitely want to have a better average, and I definitely want to have more shares to make more money as we go, because the crash is just getting started. And the worse it gets for the market, the better it gets for me. If you want to be in the know, join the Patreon, inquire about the One-on-One Academy, and I will teach you all the nitty-gritty secrets that you need to know in order to be a pseudo pro and manage your own account properly in these turbulent times, boys and girls. Love you all. See you on the next one. Bye for now.